أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. فتبسم ضاحكا فتبسم ضاحكا من قولها وقال رب أوزعني أن أشكر نعمتك التي أنعمت علي وعلى والدي وقال رب أوزعني أن أشكر نعمتك التي أنعمت علي وعلى والدي وأن أعمل صالحا ترضاه وحشر لسليمان جنوده من الجن والإنس والطير فهم لا يشعرون وحشر لسليمان جنوده من الجن والإنس والطير فهم يوزعون حتى إذا أتوا على واد النمل قالت نملة قالت نملة يا أيها النمل ادخلوا مساكنكم لا يحطمنكم سليمان وجنوده وهم لا يشعرون فتبسم ضاحكا من قولها وقال رب أوزعني أن أشكر نعمتك التي علي وعلى والدي وأن أعمل صالحا ترضاه وأدخلني برحمتك في عبادك الصالحين وتفقد الطير وتفقد الطير وتفقد الطير وتفقد الطير فقال ما لي لا أرى الهدهد أم كان من الغائبين صدق الله العلي العظيم اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين حبيب إله العالمين بالقاسم المصطفى محمد وعلى آله الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين الذين أذهب الله عنهم الرجس مطهرهم تطهيرا. Another session, inshallah, with the topic of Imam Mehdi alayhi salam. And so far we have done few sessions. I don't know if there's like 5-6 sessions. Tonight, inshallah, we want to talk about one of the perhaps common and infamous or famous questions that they ask about Imam Mehdi alayhi salam. We have referred to this topic before, but I've seen that some people still they come and ask, and then maybe they get shocked when they have been asked about this question. They cannot answer it or they cannot think, and they get shocked and they come and ask these questions again and again and again. So inshallah we'll use your brain as well and see what is your answer. So the question that they ask is, what's the point of having an imam when he's in ghaibah? What's the point in an imam that is not there? Why would we, it's like especially people who don't believe in imam that is alive and is amongst us, the Ahl Sunnah. Some of them believe that Imam alayhi salam is amongst us. Some believe that Imam Mehdi alayhi salam has not come yet, for example, or they don't know. But the Shia believes that Imam Mehdi alayhi salam is amongst us, and it has to be. So we can talk about this from both logic and from narrations and from Quran. As they say, both from aql and naql, both from what is necessary and what has been reached us from the texts, Islamic beliefs. So who's going to start answering this Interesting questions. What's the point? Yes. What's the point of having an imam? Yes, that's true. But so this part is what's the point of having an imam in the time that Imam alayhi salam is amongst us? That's one thing. But what's the point of having an imam that is not amongst us? That's the question. So you just added another question to our questions, mashallah. Yes. Sorry. Occultation. Yes, there's a famous hadith of the Prophet ﷺ and other Ahlul Bayt ﷺ have mentioned this, that the example of Imam Mehdi, or the Imam that is not amongst people in a way that they can contact him, but he is amongst people. It's like the sun that is behind the clouds. It still benefits, but not directly, or not being able to see him. We believe that Imam alayhi salam. No, that is not the question if he has arrived or not. The question is this. Shia believes that Imam alayhi salam is now amongst us, but we cannot access him. He is in ghaiba. Yes? So Imam that is in occultation and you cannot access him, one answer is what Sheikh Ali said. I will ask a question about this. That is a riwayah from the Prophet ﷺ, that even Ahlul Bayt have said this. The example of Imam that you cannot see him but is amongst you is like the sun that is behind the clouds. Yeah. And the sun behind the clouds still sends its blessings to the earth. So it's a good point, but what they say is that the sun behind the clouds is for a short while. If sun was supposed to be behind the clouds all the time, lots of things would go funny. The earth would not be prosperous as it is now. We do not get the warmth as much, especially if you are in a cold environment. The sun that is behind the clouds is not going to give us enough warmth. So they ask this question, still, what's the point of having an imam that is behind the clouds? Yeah, so that's a good point. Hajj is asking, what if Imam alayhi salam is in touch with certain people? Do you know how you can actually answer this point, make this point with the same example? Is this, that when the sun is not seen one part of the earth, the other part they are seen. So when it's cloudy one place, there are certain places not cloudy, and the sun is seen there. Which means being cloudy is just for certain people. So that's one of the good answers that we can give for explaining that example of the Prophet ﷺ, that there are some people that directly get the light from Imam alayhi salam. They're in touch with Imam alayhi salam. However, I don't think that's good to explain the example, the tamthil, the simile, but it's not enough to prove that Imam that is in occultation, is in ghaiba, is not seen directly, is good enough for all people. Because you may say, first of all, you cannot prove it. And second is that, still, what's the point? Yeah, go for it. Oh, okay. Let me see what they say. Yes. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Yeah. So again, because some people may not hear what you say, I'll repeat it. So Brother Arifi says that there's a belief in Shia that Imam alayhi salam is the medium for receiving blessings from Allah. This is called the wasata lil fayd, faydullah, the word faydullahi. So the blessings of Allah will come through the medium, and there is, instead of being directly, there is the means, there for the blessings. That is true, we believe in that, but can you elaborate why is that's the case? And yes, yes. Who is Imam? Yeah. So 200 years of what? For 200 years people have been thinking about management. Management of what? What's management? So how we can have better management? Okay. So people know that management is very important. Okay. So having an imam is for bad management. You just made it much worse. You actually are saying that imam is supposed to be there to help with management, but he's not. So what's the point? What is Imam alayhi salam managing now? Managing anything? 40 minutes. Okay. Yes. Okay, so the question is still there. The question is that what's the point of that imam? Being alive or not being alive? Let's say that imam is not alive. What's the point? What was the difference? Okay. Yes. Shaitan is amongst people. So you're saying that the reason an imam has to be amongst people is because shaitan is amongst people? Does anybody support this idea? Because this is very new to me. Because shaitan is there, imam has to be there. Okay. What does imam do with shaitan? Like fighting directly, or? I think I know what you want to say, but you're not referring to that. I know what you want to say. So shaitan is there influencing people in a negative way. So you want to say that Imam alayhi salam is there to influence people in a positive way. That's
Yes.
what you want to say.
Yes.
Okay, that is a good point too. So I'll explain this a little bit more. If Allah Tabarak Ta'ala has allowed shaitan to be free, at least in a limited extent and also limited time, to influence people in a negative way, how come Allah has not left anyone to influence people in a positive way? It's a good point, and we do believe in that. I don't think that's enough to prove the point, but it's one of the things. So if you say, what's the point? That's one of the answers. But if somebody says, well, I don't think we need it, because you've got guidance, you've got Quran, you've got Sunnah, follow that, you don't need. And if you're saying that that's the case, then again we need to bring evidence that believing in Imam alayhi salam is not just a belief, it's actually a real thing. So really people are getting influence from Imam alayhi salam to fight shaitan. It's a good point, but yeah. Anything else? Yes. Yes.
Look at this. One of the other ways to look at this question and answer it is looking at the attributes of Imam that we believe and see whether it's applicable everywhere. Doesn't matter if.
Look at what is Imam?
What attributes that
Attributes of Imam alayhi salam.
yes. Yeah. For example, I give you one example too. So regardless if they are around or not, it's the hidayat that we believe that even if people are very pious, they are doing everything, they are doing wajib, they are away from haram, but we believe at the end of the day, it's the hidayah is by our imams. They're like taking their hands, bringing them one step like outside.
Yeah, but what you are saying, you're claiming that Imam alayhi salam is doing that right now. What's your evidence?
Regardless of that, they're doing it.
What's your evidence for that? That Imam alayhi salam is doing that right now?
Again, it's part of our beliefs, no?
Yeah, but from where? If our sisters wanted to make any point, let us know. We give you the microphone. Just bring a hand out of one of these doors, and we give you. Or walk Hajj Fadi is there, would help you. Yeah, either walk this side or just show a hand. Yeah, well, I mean, that is our belief that Imam alayhi salam does hidayah directly. There is a terminology for that. It's called al-isal ila al-matlub. Al-isal is like taking somebody to the destination, to what is needed, what is al-isal ila al-matlub. That's true, but first of all, we need to show evidence for that. And second is that the person that does not believe in that, it's difficult to convince him that that is necessary. Okay, that's good. That's a good point too. So, what else? Hajj Abbas is quiet, not worthy of answering. Yes. We believe
that during his ghaibah he had representatives, wakil, ambassadors.
that was a time of Ghaibatul Sughra, the time of Imam alayhi salam's occultation first, which is from the age 5 to 70 something, or some people say from birth until then. They were representative of Imam alayhi salam. Yes.
So can't we use that in Ghaibatul Kubra as well?
In what way? Like what's happening now?
Like we could say that he has representatives.
He has representative. Well, how are we going to believe that those people are representative of Imam alayhi salam? And who is that? Can we go to one of them now? Do you know anybody yourself? After all that, Haji said, what is your question? The question is that what is the point of having an imam that you don't have access to? Shia believes that Imam alayhi salam is amongst us. And the question of somebody who's not Shia is that, what's the point? Imam that you do not see, you don't have access to, you cannot reach him, you cannot talk to him. He doesn't have a government, he doesn't have any obvious authority. What's the point?
I think that the same way we to exercise our aql into believing in true ghaiba, you know, as the ayah says, you know, الَّذِينَ يُؤْمِنُونَ بِالْغَيْبِ, right? And who are they? These are the people who have hudan, who are muttaqeen. But what I'm trying to say is that we believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through ghaib, but we also can prove Imam Ali alayhi salam is the rightful representative through, we don't have to see his name through the book, as majority of people are trying to say. I think maybe
I didn't understand
what I'm
that
trying to
point.
say
What's the relation of that point to what we're
is that
saying?
maybe one of the wisdoms is so we can exercise our aql to believe in real ghaib. Maybe that's one of the reasons why it's...
So you're saying Imam alayhi salam being amongst us or not is not the issue, it's just our belief that there is a ghaib. There is an Imam that is not seen.
Yeah.
Is that it?
Not just...
Well, we
one.
could believe in ghaib no matter what, because we believe in Allah, we believe in Ma'ad, in Jannah, all are ghaib for us. If that is the practice, then it doesn't have to be like the Sunni who does not believe in an alive Imam. We may say that to you that I don't have to believe in Imam to believe in ghaib. I believe in ghaib.
But there has to be a hujjah. There has to be.
Okay, so that's another point. That's nothing to do with ghaib. So you're saying there has to be hujjah. So what does it mean?
No matter whether in ghaib or not, I mean, there has to be a proof.
Okay, so what do you mean by that?
What do you mean?
There has to be a hujjah. What does that mean?
There has to be a person that is a witness between you and Allah to testify on the day of judgment that this happened. A witness.
A witness.
A witness or a shaheed who
That's ayah of Quran that the witness is actually your angels, the angels that are with you.
that's also in it as well.
So angels are there, and Allah Ta'ala has numerous angels, many angels, and they're going to be witness, of course. And even the Prophet ﷺ, based on the Shia belief, is seeing our deeds anyway. So in Alam al-Barzakh, the Prophet ﷺ is seeing our deeds. Our deeds are presented to him.
So who's the deeds presented to on Qadr night, for example?
Okay, so that's another point. Qadr night is about presenting deeds. Where does it say that?
So not presenting deeds or presenting your Qadr, your
qadr.
let me rephrase it.
Getting there.
Okay, so
Getting closer. You see, one of the things while Hajj is thinking, one of the things that we need to learn and have ready in our pockets, to take out, is the answer to these things, which is part of our belief. Yeah? So you don't have to know, for example, how authentic that riwayah is here and there, or for example, what is the particular historical circumstances that something happened. Was this guy with the Prophet ﷺ in the cave, or the other guy? You don't have to know these things, which is very important. If you know, it's good, but you don't have to. but we have a duty to know our belief. Yes? In a simple way, we have to say we all have a duty to be mujtahid in our usul al-din. Yes? Is believing in Imam alayhi salam, or generally imamah, is a part of our usul al-din or not? Yeah? Usul al-din means that you're not allowed to do taqleed in it. You're not allowed to follow somebody else in that idea, which means that you have to do research yourself. You need to be mujtahid. You need to be expert, or at least in the path of becoming expert. In a way that somebody asks you a question, you should have an answer for that, or many answers if you're even. So right now we are talking about part of our belief, which is very important, and we should have answers for it. Not sure, maybe that, or no. We have to have answers for it. 1, 2, 3, 4. These are the answers. These are our reasons, at least. If the other person doesn't accept, we don't have to worry about it. But at least we have answers for it. Yeah? So we have to say, for the same way that we have answers for somebody comes to you and says, there's no God. You have to have answers for it. For these reasons, there is a God. That's good enough if you have those answers. But if you don't, you still want to prove it for yourself. That means that unless you are really trying your best, then might be accepted. But if we are not trying our best and we don't know, then we are guilty. Yes, Hajj. You want to answer now?
You were asking about qadr.
No, you were thinking, so you said you were going to think and answer. Yeah.
No, I was just going to bring the ayah of.
Yes. So what is it? How do you want? So how do you want to use Surah Al-Qadr to prove there is an Imam? That's what our question is. Let us Hajj answer.
Well, the angels have to come to someone. I'm claiming that this person is, based on my logic. Forget tafsir, everything else. Someone has to be there to receive whatever is going to happen.
So I help you a little bit there. Hajj is saying that there has to be somebody that the angels come to. Yes? Why is that? Why is there a necessity for somebody, for the angels to come on Laylatul Qadr and present the umur, or the amr, kulli amr, min kulli amr, from any basically affairs in this world? They have to be presented to somebody. Why do we say that is happening? From where you got that in the ayah?
The ayah?
Yes, from the ayah. Yeah. From which part of the ayah you got that?
That ayah.
Yeah, from which part of the ayah?
Tanazzal. They're coming down. Tanazzalu.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Explain.
They're not.
I shouldn't extract it by force.
It didn't say they came in khalas.
That's right. That's
they're
right.
coming, in other words.
So the ayah says تنزل الملائكة والروح. Yeah. تنزل is in Arabic is a فعل المضارع. In fact, it used to be تتنزل. تتنزل is the original word, which means this is happening again and again and again. So it wasn't نزلت, for example, نزلت الملائكة والروح. It wasn't that. It's تنزل, which means this is happening every year, every Laylatul Qadr. So the point that you're making, which is the point that Imam Mehdi alayhi salam told us, you use, and Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam talked about this, that you want to prove the point. One of the important ones, or one of the probably the best one, is Surah Al-Qadr. Because when you say every year on Laylatul Qadr the angels are coming down, they're coming down. تنزل الملائكة والروح. They're coming down to do what? When the Prophet ﷺ was there, they came to the Prophet. After Prophet ﷺ was happening? They're still coming. The Quran says they're coming. As long as there is Laylatul Qadr, they're coming. So they need somewhere to present, to bring what they're bringing down, whatever that is. They need to present to somebody, and that means that you need a proof of Allah Ta'ala, an Imam, to accept that. So that's one point. What else? Do you want to use anything else from there,
Qadr?
or from anything else?
As you said, someone has to receive it. That person can only be a certain particular attributes, like the Prophet, peace be upon him.
That's fine.
When the
Yeah.
angels came.
We accept that. That's fine. So that's one point. Anything else you want to say? That's it. All right. So Hajj, Maliki.
I'm gonna come back to the original question.
Yes.
What is the point of having imam when?
So you left the management theory. Now you've gone to another one. Not the management. It's something else.
Yeah.
Okay.
I haven't left that one yet, but I'm gonna.
I know, but what do you want to do with it?
Yeah.
There's no point just saying that there is something there, but I'm not going to say it. Say it. Say what is it that you're going to use. Hajj just made a point. That's one point.
Okay.
You know, Brother Ali made another point. Yeah.
You said, what's the point of having like live imam?
Yes.
But when he's not amongst us.
Yes.
Correct.
But we cannot have access to him.
When we come back like 1,400 years ago, in time of Imam Ali alayhi salam, Imam Hassan alayhi salam, they don't have mobile phone, they don't have communication or something like today. Okay, very clear. At that point, how the people in like Sistan, in Iran, Sistan, or in Libya, part of Islamic country, how those people were like affected, like get blessing or get hidayah.
They didn't get blessing
from Imam Ali. They never seen him.
A person who is not Shia tells you they didn't get blessing.
Okay, we are saying
they were supposed to come to the Imam and see the Imam.
I think it's similar to all area now, or time now. Now we have Imam, we believe he is alive, but he's not in access. We don't have access.
Okay, so what's the point? There's no point then.
No, I mean,
we're saying those people who were not seeing the Imam at the time, they weren't getting blessing. So we're not getting blessing either. What's the point?
Okay, what's the point of having Imam Ali in Kufa for the people in Sistan?
For people in it was not good for people in Sistan. It was good for people in Kufa. That's exactly the point. That's what he would say. Yes, there was no point for people in Sistan because he was in Kufa for people in Kufa.
No.
And people in Sistan, they could have traveled if they wanted, as they did. People traveled from Iran and other places, from Yemen. They went and saw Imam alayhi salam and they asked him questions.
When he was ruling the whole Islamic world,
yes,
100% there was some points. Having Imam was different than having like Osman or first Khalifa or someone.
Okay,
when he was ruling the whole country,
yes,
Imam Ali is ruling the whole country. Of course, there are some points of having like Imam Masum in the head of the country. Even if it's far, even they can't see it. Even they can't talk with him. But
they could talk. They could go and see him. Like now, if Imam alayhi salam is the other side of the world, we can go and see him. If we could, you have an address, we can go and see Imam alayhi salam and talk to him and ask him. At least we can see him once and sort out lots of problems. Who is Imam alayhi salam representative? Who is the best marja? What are the answers to all these questions? We ask him once, done. In fact, right now you don't even need that. You got internet, you got phone. Yeah. Imam alayhi salam calls us or sends a message on the internet, done.
What I mean is all time is similar to Imam Ali.
No, it's not. No, it's not, because then you could go and see Imam alayhi salam. If you wanted, you could travel and go and see Imam, but now you can't. It's not the same.
We are not similar?
No, we can't see Imam alayhi salam. Can you? Can you go and see your Imam? You can't. If you have access, then you'll be fine. Yes, but we don't. That's what Shia says, that you do not see Imam alayhi salam.
Yes.
So there's no point. أحسن بناصرنا.
I did work with
Yes. Maybe it's not about seeing him.
It's more about talking to him, having that connection. I know people, I'm not sure about it myself, I haven't looked into it enough to know, but I know people talk about talking to the Imam.
So you're saying there are some people talking to Imam, but you know that even Shia does not claim that anybody can go and see Imam whenever they want.
Yes.
Even if you say some people have seen Imam. The maximum thing, if you could prove that, the maximum thing that you can do, like for example, Marhum Sheikh Saduq brings it in his book, the famous book Al-Rida, the Sheikh Saduq. So he brings the story of people who have seen Imam alayhi salam. Yes, the maximum thing that you can do with that to prove that Imam alayhi salam exists and benefited those people. How can you prove from this that Imam alayhi salam is giving blessing and is necessary to be there without having access whenever you want?
I guess what comes to my mind first is he omnipresent? Does he see all of us all the time?
Well, that doesn't mean much. Let's say he is. But again, well, angels are. Allah Ta'ala is. Let's say he is. Doesn't mean it. Doesn't answer the question. Yes? So the first thing that obviously Hajj said is, I think so far, so you want to say something? Yeah. So I think so far that is from the basically Quran point of view. That's one of them. That's the ayah, Surah Al-Qadr. This is our evidence. So whoever wants to believe or not, that's a different thing. There are a variety of beliefs about Imam alayhi salam. Yes, some Ahl Sunnah believe that Imam alayhi salam is the Imam that we say. Yes. Now we can approach this two ways. Of course, one, as we said, is logical approach, and the other one is the naql and the riwayah and ayah of Quran. The logical one, if you go back to it's not purely logical. It's logical based on the riwayah and Quran. It's about what some of you referred to it, but so we've got to have these answers ready. So answer one is that the purpose of creation that Allah Ta'ala has mentioned, the purpose of creation is not about me having access to Imam. Yes? The purpose of creation is ibadah of Allah Ta'ala. That's وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ. So if I'm the only one here, the purpose of creation is not met, because I'm not a pure person that worships Allah all the time. Yes? Ordinary people cannot be an example of what Allah says. Imagine now there is just one person on earth. Yes? One person on earth, and that's a sinner. Oh Allah, the purpose is not, what you wanted has not happened. Yes? Allah Ta'ala says that this is the purpose of creation. Well, when it's not met, then what's the point of me being alive? Imagine it's not one, it's 7 billion people. Sinner. Still not met. Because Allah Ta'ala says the purpose of creation is to have a real abd. Yes? Not only that, this real abd, or the ibad, the few of them, they're supposed to be khalifa on earth. Inni ja'ilun fil ardi khalifa. Allah Ta'ala created jinn and ins separate from being on earth or not. Yes? So one is وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسِ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ عَلَى الْأَرْضِ أَوْ فِي السَّمَاءِ. Doesn't matter where you are. You are on this earth, you are in another planet, you're in heaven, doesn't matter. The purpose is creation, number one. So it has to be at any point at least one real abd of Allah. Yes.
In the history of, just a question regarding that, in the history of mankind, were there any instances of time where the creation was devoid of any representative on earth for a period of time?
That's what I believe is not, that's not true.
That's not true.
There was always a hujjah of Allah. That's number one. Number two, on earth has to be a Khalifa of Allah. Yes? We cannot be the absolute Khalifa of Allah. Yeah, we could be relative Khalifa of Allah Ta'ala, but we cannot be the absolute Khalifa. Because when he says, Inni ja'ilun fil ardi Khalifa, again that sort of language means that is continuous. Inni ja'ilun fil ardi Khalifa. Truly, indeed, I am putting a Khalifa on earth. Which means if Allah does not have a Khalifa on earth, the purpose has not been met either. Okay, this is number two. So what's number one? Number one, the purpose of creation. Number two, the purpose of human being on earth. Number two, the purpose of human being on earth. Which means, not only if we don't have, let's say, the perfect abd, or one of the perfect abd, is alive, but not on earth. Then creation is okay, but we shouldn't be here. Because we are supposed to be on earth to be a Khalifa on earth. If we are not, any of us is not the Khalifa, then purpose is not met either. Then we shouldn't be on earth. Then the earth should go. Yes? As he says, لَوْلَا حُجَّةً لَسَاخَتِ الْأَرْض بِأَهْلِهَا. So if there is no hujjah on earth, the whole earth will be destroyed. There's no point. That's number two. Number three, Allah Ta'ala has made it clear that the human at any time does anything, there is somebody to represent his deeds to it. As any time that the ayah says, وَقُلِ اعْمَلُوا فَسَيَرَى اللَّهُ عَمَلَكُمْ فَسَيَرَى اللَّهُ عَمَلَكُمْ وَرَسُولُهُ وَالْمُؤْمِنُونَ. Allah Ta'ala says, whatever you do is presented, as one of you actually mentioned something about this. Did one of you said it? But you didn't continue because you did not remember this part of the ayah. That our deeds are represented to Allah, to the Prophet, and to certain people that is called mu'minun. Well, those mu'minun, who are they? Like now, if I do something, do you see my deeds are represented to you? No. Or your deeds are represented to me or anybody else? No. So who are they? Who are those mu'minun that they see? That Imam Rida alayhi salam says, anything you do, we see. And the companion Imam alayhi salam says, how come? He says, have you read Quran? Do whatever you want to do. Your deeds are represented. They will be seen by Allah, by the Prophet, and by the mu'minun. Al-mu'minun is an absolute meaning, which is the Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam. So that's number three. That somewhere has to be represented. Number four, we go to the narrations, the belief of Muslims. Yes? All Muslims believe in certain riwayat, Shia or Sunni. One, Hadith al-Thaqalayn. Number four is Hadith al-Thaqalayn. What is Hadith al-Thaqalayn? What does it say? إني تارك إني تارك فيكم الثقلين كتاب الله وعترتي أهل بيتي. What's the next part of it? When هما لن يفترقا حتى يرد علي الحوض, or different version of the same hadith. That these two are not going to be separated. Well, if there is no Imam here, if there is no Ahlul Bayt from the Prophet ﷺ to be with Quran now, يفترقا لم يفترقا. But it says لن يفترقا, never ever. لن means never. لن يفترقا, never they get separated. Without, if there is no Imam, يفترقان أم لا يفترقان. But with Imam being alive, لن يفترقا. It is number 4. Number 5, the riwayat, which is, we talked about it many times, Ahl Sunnah believe in it, that this world always go until it gets to the end with 12 Imams. The 12 Imams, the 12 Umara, the 12 Nuqaba, the 12 Khulafa, there is always one of them on earth. If you are not Shia, you may believe that Khalifa is number, from 12 is number 6, number 10, whatever. Yes, you could say that if you're not Shia. However, we don't have any evidence who is that person and where is that person. Who is the Khalifa now? Because Allah, the Prophet ﷺ has made a promise that this world always stays with 12 Imams until the world is ended. Which means that at any point there has to be one of these 12 Imams somewhere. That's number 5, yeah? Number 5? Am I right? Shall we go more and more? I think 5 is enough, but we can go more and more. And of course, Surah Al-Qadr definitely can be number 6 or could be number 1. Doesn't matter. I mean, these numbers, things that we said, they're not based on order, just the way we went. So Surah Al-Qadr could be number 6, but we got more. We can go more and more. I'm not going to take more of your time, and your brain might be a bit tired now. Some people, it looks like their brain is exploding. Yes. So, what if we don't have access to Imam alayhi salam? Yes, is there a purpose for that or not? So, there are many purposes for that. So, things that they mentioned, actually, they're all good points. Yes, so there are purposes. We can say Imam alayhi salam, it would guide people internally from the heart, the same way the shaitan does in a negative way. We can say that Imam alayhi salam is a blessing for, as in Ziyarat Jami' Kabira will say, and in the Riwayat, as for their sake the blessings come, which is related to the first point that we made. If Allah is sending blessings on this earth, it's for His ibad, based on Quran. It's for His ibad. If we are not the true ibad, then we don't believe, we don't deserve that. Yes? So if we get any blessing, it's because Allah, for their sake of the ibad, has sent anything into this earth. So that's one, being wasata al-fayd. So that's one of the points. That any blessing comes to this world is based on Allah's purpose, because Allah is Hakim. Allah does not do anything just for the sake of doing it. Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala does things based on wisdom. In His wisdom, He has created human to worship Him, to be an abd. If there is no abd, the blessing wouldn't come either. The whole earth will be destroyed, let alone having blessings. So any blessing comes to this earth, if there is a rain, if there is a plant growing, anything, and all these powers in this world that Allah has let, is for the sake of that purpose, that having a perfect abd on earth, at least one. So there is always a connection that way. And of course, as we said, there are people, so you're talking about the representative of Imam alayhi salam. So the maraja, there are, or people who narrate the ulama, they narrate the ahadith, they are the representative of Imam alayhi salam in a general way. As Imam alayhi salam says in the Qaib of Ghaiba, farji'u ila rawate ahadith an-nas. So go towards those people who are narrating our riwayat, who people are expert in that. Which means there would be indirect representative of Imam alayhi salam. So first one, that it has to, the purpose of creation is ibadah. Second, we need a Khalifa on earth, the purpose of being on earth. Third is, you help me. What's third? If people registered or did not. Sorry? What's the third one? Yes. No. Fifth was Thaqalain. What was third? Ah, that's good that you ask. Anybody remembers? Yes, that's right. Well done. So that our deeds are presented to Allah, to the Prophet, and to certain mu'minun. What's fourth? That's fifth. That's sixth. What was fourth? Say again, sorry? Yes, that's right. So the fact that is a consensus, apart from, so Thaqalain is one of them, or could be either of them, doesn't matter. As I said, the order doesn't matter. So two different ahadith that is consensus of all Muslims. The ahadith about 12 imams, 12 khulafa, and the hadith of Thaqalain. These two are very important points. That it has to be, because the Prophet said there is. Allah Ta'ala says there is. So there has to be that it would be with Quran, which means that Quran on its own is not enough for us. It has to be somebody with Quran. Yes. Yes, fine. Well, why can't we? That's that. The answer for that is what one of you said. That the reason is, I think Mr. Maliki said, that the reason for that is that because we took the blessing away. It's like now Quran is amongst us. If we go and put the Quran somewhere and lock the box, and we cannot read the Quran and say, what's the point of having Quran? Then that means there is no Quran. You locked it in the box yourself. So the reason Imam alayhi salam is not amongst us, because Allah did not want Imam alayhi salam get killed like other imams. And the time that we are spending in this, of course, is not ideal. So if somebody says, oh, what's the point of this wood? Yeah, of course, this is not ideal situation. But like anything else, when Allah gives you blessings, there are responsibilities for that. If we don't have the blessing to see Imam alayhi salam directly, then there are blessings for it as well. So there is a blessing that, yes, the non-direct access means that it's harder, and means that we get more blessings for that, of course. But the fact that there has to be an imam, the way we said, and also that imam is giving his blessing to people. But yes, not directly, so it's not easy. Yeah. All right, very good. I think you all contributed very well. Ahsantum. Sallu ala Muhammadin wa ala Muhammad.